Hong Kong Direct is your weekly racing roundup full of news, views, previews, interviews and special guests. And coming up today on a big show as we head into Sa Ladies Purse Day, he's back. Exultant, last year's Horse of the Year. Can he make it third time lucky in the Ladies Purse? He'll have to meet Southern Legend, who won the race last year, beating Time Warp as well, and he finished in front of him last time out. And Southern Legend, trained by Casper Fowles, also has Dances with Dragon in the field. And we'll look ahead to the HKIR entries as the free entry stage has closed, and some big names on that list as well. And a big name joins me as well here in the studio. Great to have you back, Graham Cunningham, as a Hong Kong Direct regular. Before we get on to HKIR and the rest of it, we might have actually seen maybe a chance of heading that way on Wednesday night at Happy Valley as Casper Fowles and Joe Moreira continued on their merry way.
Yeah, a fringe contender for the big middle distance races at the moment, Andrew, but Columbus County, like so many Fowles horses this season, has come back a much sharper, improved model, and he was already pretty good. He made some smart handicap rivals look very one-paced when he quickened in the final furlong in the nightcap at Happy Valley. Big night for Joe Moreira, 4 winners. Big night for Casper Fowles, 2 of them, both ridden by Joe Moreira. And a clear theme emerging. Joe now 10 clear of Zach Purton at the top of the jockeys table. I think Casper is 6 clear of his rivals in the trainers list. And that link, Andrew, that link between Joe and Casper, they've had 10 winners together this season. By contrast, Zach has only had 1 winner for Casper Fowles, and I don't think he's had a ride for Casper since about September the 23rd. In short, that relationship has gone cool. These things go in cycles in Hong Kong, but that relationship needs to warm up again if Zach, for the 3rd time, is going to run down Joe, having been double digits behind. Dangerous to ride off Zach just yet. I think a lot of water to go under the bridge between now and the end of the season. All right, let's get into the main event then. The Sa Ladies Purse is race number 8, Group 3, 1,800 metres is the trip. Exultant, last year's Horse of the Year, is back. Zach Purton from Barrier 7. Southern Legend won this race last year, running down Time Warp in the closing stages. Casper Fowles double represented here. He's got Dances with Dragon with Keith Young in the saddle. Shafano was a good run behind Golden 60 last time out. Singapore Sling was good first up after a long break last time as well for the Tony Millard stable. Ho Ho Khan, assume, heading towards the Vars on International Day, and Savvy 9 and Super Oasis will finish behind the excellent proposal on their last starts as well. Now, we'll hear from Zach Purton very shortly about the returning champ. First, though, let's get the owner's perspective with Kirk Wong representing his parents.
My first words to describe Exultant would be pride. Certainly, it's not so much just the winning. Obviously, Group 1s are just gives us a feeling of ecstasy. But it's more the pride of how this horse has developed since he's been in Hong Kong. People look at the Group 1s, people look at the close races, but a lot of people don't realize he's actually never been outside of the prize money. And to me, after all those races, some very difficult ones, I have nothing but pride for that horse.
Exultant, he's out on his feet, but he still leads a length. Shafano Furore, they're trying to get him. Exultant kicking over Shafano Furore. Exultant in front. It's the high 5 of Group 1's Exultant.
For me, and I've also asked Zach about this and Tony about this from time to time, I think his level of determination, his what I call grit, is spectacular.
It's Exultant and Lise Gracheur, clear from Azira, then Pakistan, Star and Eagle Way. Exultant and Lise Gracheur, a real cliffhanger in the bars. Exultant fights back and wins for Hong Kong.
So for me, that was a true sign that the horse had a lot of determination. He may not be the most talented, he may not be the fastest, but that sort of determination and grit really, to me, it really shows through on this horse. Tony CRUZ is such a good fit for this horse because he is, to me, one of the best trainers in the world. he can understand each horse and what the horse needs. And and the results speak for themselves. It's been 2 years now that Exultant has been racing at his top level, and every time he goes out, he's ready to go. He's always in top form. He's always close, and that's really, to me, a sign of not only the horse's consistency, but really the trainer's ability to maintain a horse at a very high level. Zach is a really good fit for Exultant because I think he's a master strategist, especially on the race course. His race management is incredible. Because Exultant is the horse that sort of needs some managing on the course in terms of where he's positioned during the race, when he has to go.
It's Exultant with 150 to go. Furore 2 lengths away, but running around a bit. Exultant leads. Furore still a length to make up. Then Eagle Way. It's QE2 redemption for Exultant.
Exultant has been in 4th and 3rd in previous Sasa iterations, Sasa Ladies First iterations. Look, he's always going to be on the top weight when he races these races, and based on trial, and I've asked Zach this, and he says Exultant is what he describes as a dude, where he doesn't really show much, he doesn't do much, but based on what Zach has felt through the trials, he said the horse is healthy, the horse is happy, so that's basically the best indication that he could give me. He's now 6 years old, turning 7 in January. So as long as he's healthy, we're sure he'll come close at least.
Lovely piece there with Kirk Wong. Graham, where do you think he sits as far as this weekend is concerned? We know the quality of him over further, and there's targets down the track as well. But what about Sunday?
In terms of this weekend, there's one quote that sticks in my mind very strongly. It's from Tony CRUZ. And he said, this is just a lead up to the trial day. So it's about mindset, it's about building blocks for a potentially long Group 1 season ahead. But he's a hell of a good horse, Exultant. He's Horse of the Year in Hong Kong. He's a dual champion middle distance stayer. And bizarrely, he's still slightly underappreciated. He doesn't do it on flash or brilliant speed. He does it on courage, guts, and endurance. And a horse like this, he spends 2 years toiling successfully and really honestly in the shadow of beauty generation. And then here comes Golden 60, swaggering into town with his great turn of foot and his 22-second closers. So he's never quite been the sexy horse in some people's minds, but his CV is tremendous. And anyone thinking of feeling sorry for the Wong family, he's picked up in excess of $73 million in prize money and counting.
Yeah, it's not a bad effort. And you touched on the point there of his heart and his courage as well. So in that respect, even if he might, the big targets are down the road, he doesn't know not how to run a good race. He'll put everything into it. That much we do know. Yeah,
you can see it in his body language. He bows his head low, and once he does that, he really runs home powerfully. He can be a hostage to tactics sometimes, but I wouldn't just go down the line if he can't win over 1,800 metres. He's got 2 really impressive, huge weight-carrying wins in the Centenary Vase over 1,800 metres, but it is worth pointing out that race comes when he's hard fit in January rather than when he's on the launch pad on the 1st of November.
All right, well, let's hear from the man who'll be on his back and arguably the man who knows him best as well. Big race jockey, Zach PURTON.
I've given up trying to assess him off his trials. I just roll him around and let him have a stretch of the legs, and that's all he's out there for, really. As we know, he doesn't take any part, and he hasn't been taking any part, but it doesn't concern me. He's been like that for quite some time now. It's when they come out and do something different that you start to worry. So we'll go to the races knowing that he's in a good place, but he's going to improve off it. Distance is okay for him, but having to carry the big weight against these horses at this stage of his prep is not easy. Just like him to hit the line and show us that he can be a player again in December.
Ran 3rd in this race last year with the big weight as well too, and when the tempo didn't necessarily suit him. On class against this sort of opposition, could he win first up?
It depends how the races run. Last year he drew barrier 1, so that allowed him just to jump and get into a nice spot without having to do any work. He's drawn an awkward gate this year, and against a lot of horses that are really well rated with lightweight, so he's up against it. Let's just see how he begins, gets himself out of the gate. He'll tell me where he wants to be.
Barrier 7 is the gate for Exultant then on Sunday, and we'll see how he fares as well. So plenty more to discuss as far as Exultant's concerned and the rest of the field as well as we come back after this. And we'll be looking ahead as well in part 2 of the show to the entries for HKIR.